Now, on the Euro USD, as at yesterday, remember we were expecting two scenarios to happen yesterday. Hold on a second. So we were, where are we as at yesterday? Let me clean this chart up a little bit so that we can have a better clean chart. All right. So we were, okay, so we were around here yesterday, around it 0.99840 level, where I said when we started citing the multiple rejection of the $1 mark, we actually had two scenarios anyways. The first scenario is price has been consolidating within this channel. So we saw the breakout of this channel at the beginning of the week. Price came into the $1 mark and we started seeing the selling pressure around this area. So we said, okay, fine, if the selling pressure continued to move on during the session, well, we want to be looking at a signal that will allow us to take advantage of a trend of a reversal pattern, and we were able to identify the 0.99840 level on the 15 minutes time frame, which I said that we should wait for a signal to happen in the form of a breakdown of that structure. So if a breakdown of that structure happens, we want to wait for price to give us further confirmation in the form of a retest of that level before we want to be joining the decline to the downside, which never happened, and price did not break down that structure. Instead, price broke out of the $1 mark. So we saw the breakout of the $1 area. In fact, I saw a rejection here on lower time frame and we joined the rally to the upside, but unfortunately we saw selling pressures right around the $1 1.002500 level in the early hours of today. When we took this position yesterday, we would have moved our stop loss to break even, and what happened afterwards, we saw price climb right back and broke down the $1 mark, taking us out of the buy position. So at this point right now, we can see prices right back below the $1 area. So one thing I stated here, I shared this on my TradingView platform. I said if a breakdown retest of the $1 level happens at this point, we want to be joining the decline with our take profit target still around the 0.9888600 level and the 0.9800 area. So at this point in time, we had the breadown of the $1 mark, we had the breakdown, we had the retest of structure, and I'm already in this trade anyway, so I don't know if this trade is going to continue to the downside as expected. For those who took advantage of this, well, let's see how this runs out, if price will continue to trade right below the $1 area. And one thing we should also note here is how important that $1 area has been in the last 3 to 4 months. Now, if we scale up to the daily time frame to have an holistic view of what is really going on in this market and zoom into what has been happening in the last 3 months, let's zoom in. We can see, let me use the, hold on a second, hold on a second, I'll rather use my second chart here. Okay, all right, so we have the 1 hour time frame here, sorry, the daily time frame rather, and in the last 3 to 4 months here, we can see how important the $1 mark has been. And look at what happened here in the month of July. That level served as a buying niche for participants in this market. That's in the month of July. And if we fast forward into the month of September, we saw buying pressure around this area too as well, though the pressure wasn't that strong enough as sellers were able to break down that structure to push price to the downside of that area. And since then, price has been trading right below the $1 mark. So what this simply tells us is that the sellers are very strong around the $1 area. So we saw a breakout 2 weeks ago, and immediately it was met with selling pressure around that area, and right now we are around the $1 area. So there are two scenarios we want to be looking forward to here. The first one is a situation where price might continue to fight selling pressure right below this level to incite a trend continuation to the downside. And considering the long-term bearish momentum here on the Euro USD, this is more likely to happen at this point in time. However, if a breakout of the $1 area happens, we saw a breakout of that structure, we are not getting too excited as we want to wait for price action to give us further confirmation in the form of a retest of that structure. So it could come in the form of a retest of the $1 MAC or the retest of that bullish trend line here, after which you look out for buying pressure on lower time frame to join the rally to the upside. So on the EUR USD, we need to be very careful taking advantage of any bullish momentum at this point, because we really need to see a significant breakout of the structure to be very convincing to join that rally. But to take a sell position here is still easier to take because of the fact that this area has been a selling pressure in the last two months on this pair. So for the bullish momentum at this point, let's wait and see price break out of the structure, give us a significant breakout of that structure like an engulfing candle. Then we look out for buying pressure on lower time frame to join the rally to the upside. So now that's the two scenarios we are looking forward to. So let's see what we're going to be doing during the New York session today on our lower time frame. Now going back to the 1 hour time frame, yeah, I told you I already sold this position right below the $1 area, so I want to be patient enough to see how this is going to go. So for now, I will be advising that somewhere right below the $1 area still looks promising to sell the EUR USD. So as long as price continues to oscillate right below that level, selling momentum is very sensible at that point. And if price continues to the downside in such a way that we find a breakdown of the 0.99450 level, well, an addition to the existing position will be welcomed when price comes back to do a retest of that structure. We might be followed with selling pressure on lower time frame. Then we could add more position to the downside. So our take profit target still remains right around the 0.98600 level and the 0.9800 area for the selling opportunity that we are hoping is going to price action is going to evolve to in the next couple of hours. So that is that on the EUR USD. So if you have any question whatsoever, feel free to let me know in the comment section, and let's see how I can be of help in that regard.